Alright everyone, welcome to this another episode of my channel, and I'm going to be presenting this industrial sewing machine, and it's brand new. I'm going to be walking you through the process of threading, bobbin winding, and all sort of things. It's a fully automatic machine, and apart from you threading the machine on your own, every other thing is automatic. The machine does everything on its own. So let's dive into it. Right, this is the machine. It's a brother sewing machine, and the model number is TS in Tom -8422C-403. That's the model number. This is a fully industrial sewing machine. It's a double needle, which also you can use it as a single needle. Okay, I'm going to walk you through how this operates. I remove one of the needle so that I can show you how to put the needle, how to insert it if you're going to put the needle. Okay, so one thing you need to know about this industrial sewing machine: this is not a home sewing machine, it's industrial machine, but you can use it as a home sewing machine if you work, like you sew every day. Maybe you do like 3-4 garments a day, understand? So this machine can serve a purpose, but it's built to to run from morning till night. All right, so they are really powerful machine. Before we proceed, let me just say this light right here is not part of the machine. It's not hard on or anything. It's something you have to buy on your own. If you want to use it, you have to buy this, a magnetic LED light for sewing machine. So it's not part of the purchase. You have to buy this one separate. Okay, so it's not part of it. If you need it, I will put the link below. You can get it online. It's cheap. All right, I'm going to show you how to put the needle. This machine needle has a groove right here. So since it's a double needle machine, you can take one out and use this machine as a single needle if that's how you want to use it. But it's built to be double needle, but that does not mean you cannot use it as a single needle. There's a groove right here on the needle. So the groove is going to face this side, while the groove on the left will face that side. So this will face like that. The groove on this one is going face toward that side, while on this side we face this side. That's what I'm trying to let you see here. Right, the groove here is going toward there. If you're going to face the groove, you open up. On a normal day, this is what I'm going to do. I just put this right in there and I twist it out. Okay, it's pretty tight now. Alright, so you lose this a little bit, and you look at the groove and make sure it's facing this side. All you have to do is just insert it. You have the groove right there, put it back up. Once you have it in, just lock this back. So you have to, once you put the needle back in there, you have to use this to hold the needle down. As you can see, the groove is facing this side. All right, so the next thing is to tie it down. It doesn't have to be really hard, just to hold it down. So that's how you put the needle. Okay, once you're done with that, the next thing is you want to thread your machine. So you need this, okay, to to work everything out, you're gonna need one of these twister. Okay, so this one has already been run already, so I'm not gonna do it again, but I'm gonna run the second one for you to see how it works. You just take your spool and you take out your thread, right? Make a loop like this and take it through the back. Maybe a little bit difficult, but you just have to get it right one time, okay? All right, so I get it out. Once you are able to get this out, the next thing you do is you have to come up here. So you take your thread, you go in like this, out, then you go in again, out. Once you have your thread like that, the next thing you need to do, the same way I run this, so also you're going to run this all the way here. Once you run it, it's the same way. Come to the bobbin wind, okay? So once you have this all the way down, the next thing is you want to come here, all right? It's the same thing. This thing has a 3-0, 1, 2, 3. Depend on the weight of your thread, right? If the thread is really thick thread, depend, you can use the 2. If you have a very tiny, you know, a light thread, you can use the 3-0. But in my own case, I use the 2. So you go from right to left, okay? You can use the 2 first O, or you can use the 2 last O, or you can use the first and the last O. It doesn't really matter, okay? So in my own case, you go from left to right. So I'm using the upper one and the lower one. And this one, I use the middle one and the lower one. So it doesn't really matter how you run it. It's up to you. So I use the first one and the last one on the second thread. Why I use the second and the last one, this one. Just like that. And you pick it up with your twister. Once you pick it up, you have to go on a loop like that. That's a loop, right? When you go on that loop, you have to be between. But before you do this, my bad, you have to make sure your presser foot is all the way up. You have to raise it up, okay? So I just raised my presser, because before you thread any sewing machine, make sure your presser foot is all the way up. So by doing that, it's going to release the tension on your thread tension here, okay? This tension, once your footer is all the way down, is going to close the tension, and your thread may not be able to pass through. It will just lay on it instead of going in the tension, okay? So once you raise your presser foot, it's going to release the tension, so you'll be able to pass your thread, all right? So once you have your thread like that, there's another guide here. You have to go over the guide like this, not under, okay? You're not going under like that. No, you go around it just like that. You go like this from here like that, and there's another tension. You go like that. Once you go like that, now you can go on this guide also. This spring tension is 2 in 1, so there's left and right. There's one in and there's one out. The inner one we guide the left thread, while the outer one we guide the second thread, which is going to be the right thread, okay? So you go around like that, and you go on the loop just like that. So once you get to this point, you hold this thread. So you pull. When you pull, you will hear a click. That means everything is fine, okay? Now you can move all the way up like that. You move all the way up like that, then you go through this loop right here. You go in that loop, just like that. Okay, so you have to look at the take-up lever here. This one, this take-up lever, if you look at it, there's two holes. There's one up here and the one down. The top one is going to be for the left needle or the left thread, while the lower one is going to be for the right thread. Okay, so already I have my thread. The left is on the upper one, so I'm going to put the right on the lower hole. Okay, just like that. Now I have my thread out like that, so you go in right here. That's where you go in again. Once you are there, then you can thread this and you go all the way to the second side. All right, so I'm going to turn this one on. I don't know if that is going to be too much light, but there's a guide hole here that you're going to go in. Okay, you push, just pass your thread through and take it out. You do the second one, pass it through, take it out. Okay, once you have the two like that, now what you need to do is how to thread the needle on its own, because like I said before, there's a groove right here that is facing right, and there's another groove that is facing left. So if you're going to thread the needle, right, this one you're going to thread from right going to left, and the right one you thread from left going to right, and this one from right going to left. Okay, so this thread for the first needle is coming from the back, going like that. Okay, going that way, while this one is coming from the back, going this way. Okay, for first thing you do is bring your thread under here, and this one also should come under like that. Okay, so you use this guide, and you just have to be careful. It's a little bit tricky to thread this, but with the help of the twister you should be able to get it done really easy. So you hold it like that. So that one is done. Okay, the right one is done. Now we have the left one. Okay, now we have the two in position. All right, so that's how you thread your needle. All right, so the next thing I'm going to show you is going to be bobbin winder. This is the tension for the bobbin wind. Is, you can dial it in how you like. So once you have your thread, just like that, it's going to come from the back like this, and it's coming out from here. There's a hole here that the thread is going to come out from. Once you have it, the next thing is focus on this lever here is the bobbin stopper. Okay, and all you have to do is have your bobbin, insert it, and just manually do this with your hand a couple of times. Once you're done, just like that, and you turn on the machine and you wind your bobbin. Once the bobbin is full, this is going to go like that, and it's going to stop. So more thing I'm going to explain about the bobbin is this machine, when it's operating, there's no way to disengage flywheel. in order for this, for the machine not to operate, but just the flywheel alone, so that the bobbin will wind without the machine being moving up and down. So what I'm trying to explain to you now on this sewing machine is that there's no way you will disengage this not to move up and down if you want to wind your bobbin. It's not going to happen. So the machine will still, operate if this is winding. But one thing they design is that if you're working on a large project and you're going to be needing a lot of, a thread to, or bobbin, right? What they did is you put your bobbin while you are sewing, all right? So let's assume you are sewing, you wind this bobbin already and everything is fine. You put your bobbin, you have to take another bobbin which is empty, put it here and wind it, leave it like that. So when you are sewing, doing your sewing automatic, this is going to be filling up. So before you run out of your bobbin, this one will have been filled up already. So you just have to take this one out, put it in and put another one here. If you're going to need, another bobbin, it's just going to do it automatic. So that's how this machine is designed. You have this double plate, all right? Let me open this one up. It's caught up in this mess. So that's the bobbin right there, all right? So you see the bobbin, this is the slot, you put your bobbin. Once you are done with your bobbin, this is where you put it, this one for the right needle and that's for the left needle, all right? You don't have to oil anything here, okay? It's self-lubrication. It does the lubrication on its own, okay? All you have to do is just put oil in the reservoir. When you put your oil in the reservoir, the design is such a way that the oil will flow on its own to wherever that needs lubrication, all right? That's how this machine is designed. You don't have to come on your own and oil any moving parts around here. You don't need that. So to load your bobbin, you see the direction of the thread from right to left, right to left, right? That's how you're going to put it. You drop your bobbin just like that. Once you drop your bobbin, you have to hold it and press this one all the way down. Once you lock it in, you're going to need this. There's a groove here, right here. You have to go in the groove, just like that. And you use one of your hands to hold the bobbin so that it will not spin when you are doing whatever you're doing. So that the bobbin will not spin. You hold this one and go all the way around the hook. Make sure this hook, the thread is going underneath, like that. And you go below the hook, just like that, okay? Once you are below the hook, just leave it like that, okay? You have to be below that hook. I'm going to use my hand to hold the bobbin. It's a little bit tricky, but you just have to get it right. Once you are underneath like that, then you're good to go, and leave it like that. Same way you do for the second one. I have this case, so I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use this same way, all right? You see this one, the direction from left to right. The first one is from right to left. This one, the direction is going like this. But in this case, you have to be coming from left to right, okay? So, in this case, you are coming like this. You see? It's coming like that. If you look at it like this, all right, look at it. You just put it in, hold it, and lock this one in place. This is the groove I'm talking about. On the other side, this groove right here, you hold it, hold the bobbin, and make sure your thread is going and you go all the way like that. And then make sure you guide the thread to go under like that, and push it like that down, and it will come under this hook. Once you have that, the next thing you will do is to hold your upper thread. You hold your upper thread, right? Okay, I want to change this thread, okay? Because of the color, I want it to be different from the one I have in the bobbin. Like I said before, I said once you thread this machine, you don't have to go through all the process. All you have to do is you cut the thread, right? If you're going to change your thread, all you need to do is you come to the thread you need to change, just like this. Any one of the thread you want to change, you have to come in and you cut it. So I'm going to change the first thread. I want to change the first thread, this little one. All I have to do to change it, without going through the process of going through all the loop again, you hold your thread and you cut it. Once you cut it, you take it out. I'm going to replace it with a black thread, right? So all I have to do is hold this one and just take the new thread. All you have to do is tie them together, all right? Once you tie them together, just make that little loop, right? Once you tie them together very well, cut from here. So you will have your thread like this, tied together, all right? Now you'll come back here. So you will come back here, the thread that you want to change. All you have to do is, once you have your pressure foot on, you hold it and you pull the thread the way out. All right. Now I have the black. What I normally do is you pull the thread all the way. You see the black? This is the black that I'm holding. And the purple with my left hand, you go all the way. Now the knot that we tie has get to the needle eye, right? At this point, you can cut it from like right here and retread if you want to do that. But I normally try this method first. If it doesn't work, then I'll cut the thread. But if you make that knot, not too thick, then you should be able to get it through the eye of the needle. What I normally do is I hold this needle with my hand, because if you pull without holding it, it's going to bend the needle, right? And once you bend the needle, you have to change it. So I normally hold it with my hand like this, and I try to pull the thread through. You see, sometimes you're lucky enough, sometimes you're not. But in some cases, if you pull like that, you may be lucky enough to get it through. All right, you may be lucky enough to get it through. So if your thread is strong enough, you won't have problem threading it. So once you have it like that, the next thing is just roll the flywheel. Once hold these two upper thread, I have black and red now, you hold it, roll the flywheel to a full turn, and once it engages the lower thread, just pick them out like that. Once you pick them out, you can just send them through the presser foot slot all the way to the back, and you are good. So now you can close this, so you're fully done with the threading. So the next thing I'm going to show you is this machine on and off. Right there you have the on and off button right there. Underneath here, right down there, they will give you option on this, because when I get this machine, I have option. If you want this to be fully automatic, or if you want to use your nail to push it. So they're going to send the nail lifter to you. When you assemble this, you will have the nail lifter, and you will also have this adjustment. Okay, so what I did is, this automatic box, you see this little machine right here, is like a vacuum, right? It's like a vacuum. It's going to suck this thing in. When the machine is on, it's going to suck it in, and once it suck it in, it's going to raise the pressure foot up. That's automatic. But if you don't want it, you can disengage this, loose this up, and put the manual nail lifter. So anytime you want the machine to go up the pressure foot, you use your nail to push it. But in my case, I just put it on automatic, and everything is going to be working automatic. The only thing you need to do is put your foot on the presser on the machine. Once you press this one on like that, you are good to go. Okay, you don't need your scissors to cut the thread. The machine is going to do everything for you. So let me start right from here. Once we have the on and off, you turn the machine on, you're going to hear a noise. The machine is on. You can see how this thing engage. Once you turn it on, the vacuum suck it on, and the foot will come on. Once I press it like this, if I press the off button, just watch. The pressure foot go down. On, it will come on. Just watch this. Off, on. That's the pressure foot. Okay, it's on and off. So the next thing I want to show you, from way up, we have the stitch length die. Okay, from 1 to 4. 1 to 4, 1 be the lowest, 4 be the longest length, and that will be your basting. Number 4 is going to be your basting. This is the model number. Here we have reverse lever for the machine. All right, and up here is where you have your oil gauge. You open this little thing, rubber cover. Right here you can pour in your oil until you get to a gauge. That is the full, and this is low. It's a gauge there. It's transparent, so you can see your oil as it's going down, right? So all you have to do is put your oil down there. When you get to where you need to get to, and you just close it back with this rubber lid. So that's it. That's where you have your oil gauge. That's the name, brother. And the next thing, I show you this already. That's your bobbin tension. This is bobbin wine. This is the stopper. This is the control panel for the machine. Thread guard, left and right, all the way down to the presser foot. You have the presser foot guide right here, and these two things, they're not just fancy. If you look at these two things, it's not fancy, right, at all. They have what they're doing. If you look at right here, there's a groove here. Those are the thread cutter, and once they cut the thread, they also help you to take the thread up. So it's going, when the thread is cut, there's a groove here. They will come all the way like this. They will come, it's automatic. They will come forward below the needle, and they will pick up the thread, take it to the back. Once you are ready to sew, they'll release it, you sew, and they take it back again. Okay, just at that. All right, so you have the control panel right here. Okay, the first one is your thread count screen, right? And the function with the 3 buttons, you have plus and minus, and you have reset button. Those are for your thread count, right? The middle screen, which is the green one, they also have 3 buttons that work with this. The first one is minus, the second one is plus, and this is mass. What this does is help you to regulate the speed of the machine. Minus will reduce the speed. As the line goes down, it's going to reduce the speed, right? Plus is going to increase the speed all the way up. Plus, minus, and this one is going to be maximum speed. Back to the first screen, we have 4 alphabets, which is A, B, C, D, and we have numbers below the alphabet, right? All these functions you have here, they have this button controlling them. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's like plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus. They control these functions. You know, for you to get this area right, you need to go through the manual and study it to see what you can achieve with this screen, because there's a lot of things, a lot of combination right here that you can do with these buttons. Okay, so is the first button right here work with A button and the number below it. The second one work with B and the number below it, just to all the way to D and the number below it, right? So this is A, B, C, D, and the letters are the numbers it shows, and I'm going to explain these two because I know these two very well. Like this 3 that I have here, you can increase to 4, 5, 6, you know, all the way, I think all the way to 100. And I don't know if anyone will use it up to 100. I'm not sure if anybody will use this up to 100. That's 99. But I'm not sure if anyone will use up to 99. What that does is your stitch back tack. You're telling the machine to do back tack, and if you set it to 0, it will do no back tack. If you have 1, we do back tack once. This will be 2 back tack, and 3 will be back tack. It's gonna be when you when you want to sew your, if you just want to sew anything, it's gonna do back tack first 3 times. So the needle is gonna go forward and back 3 times to secure your stitch. And B also, we do back tack once you finish sewing to secure it. So this is going to be the beginning of your sewing back tack, and this is going to be the end of the sewing back tack, right? So we have other buttons here. So it's just the direction of sewing. All these buttons is just the direction of sewing. We have your function button. When you press this function, it's going to bring you here and change some menus you want to change, and this will be your enter. Once you set all your settings, you can lock your settings so that if you accidentally touch anything, it will not change your settings, right? You have this one also that is going to go up and down. That's your needle up, your needle down, right? They lift up. This is going to be presser foot up and presser foot down, so it's up now. So this one is going to be your needle up, needle down. Those are the automatic, okay? Needle up, needle down. What this does is during sewing, right? When you are doing your sewing, maybe you get to a corner and you want to bury your needle, this will be the function, okay? Once you press this button, it will either bring your needle up anytime you stop the machine. If you want your needle to be up or down, this will be the function, right? So if you are sewing, get to a corner, once you have this down, the needle will always be downward position. If you have it up, it will always be in upward position anytime you stop the machine, and that's it. So you have this yellow and black scissors. This one is to disengage the scissors, while this one is to engage the scissors, and we have the automatic. And these are going to be the direction of your sewing, all these 6 buttons. So whatever you turn on here is going to be the direction of your sewing. They work independently, okay? Whatever you have here is what the machine is like. You're telling the machine how to operate, and that is about the control panel. All right, so let's test the machine out and see how it's sewing. So I have this fabric right here, and I'm going to be sewing on it just like that. Okay, all right, so one thing I want to show you is just look at all the lights. They are all off. Those numbers, they are off. I turn them off, right? And see what is going to happen once they are off. Just watch that the machine is not going to do back tacking when it's sewing. No back tacking. Just watch. It's just going to keep sewing, no back tack. You see, it just starts sewing with no back tack. And if I want to cut this thing, if you're going to do back tack, you press the back like this, and you notice the machine did no back tack. There's no back tack before sewing, and there's no back tack after sewing. So I'm going to show you something now. Look at this panel. See these functions, these 3. If I press this, right, A, B, C, D light up, and I have 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Let's see the function of that. Look at the machine. You see, there's back tack and stop. No movement. You see, just back tack, and that's all. It's going to stop. Let me turn it off. Now I turn it off now. I have this one, and I have 2 numbers, which is C and D, 3, 3. Let's see what's going to happen when it's sewn. You see, it's sewing, but no back tack. But look at it. But when I stop, and now if I press this one back, that's the back tack. Look at it. It did back tack. 3 back tack. Look at it. So I have C and D. So which means C and D is working for back tack when you stop sewing. So now let's do A and B, because I have C and D on. Let's do, you see, this one is like when you finish, and this one before you start, right? So let's turn this one off. Turn this one on. Now I have A and B, 3, 3. Let's see what will happen if we start sewing. Watch that it's going to do back tack. You see that back tack right there? It's going on. But if I do back tack now to finish, it's not going to do it. We just cut the needle, the thread. You know why? Because I disengage C and D. So 3, A and B is working for back tack when you first start sewing, and C and D is working when you finish sewing. It's going to do back tack. So let me now engage C and D. Now I have C and D on. Watch. It's going to do back tack and sew. That's the back tack. Now when I stop, that's back tack also. Okay. So those are the function of this C, A, B, C, D. So now we know the functions of all this. So if you want it, you leave it. If you don't want it, you can disengage it. Let's say you don't want back tack when you're sewing, you disengage it and it's going to be going like that, no back tack. And if you want it, you pull it. So this one, no thread cut. The yellow one, I just press this yellow one, which means no thread cutting, right? Let's see what happens. Even if I press, you see the thread is right there. It's not cutting the thread. So if I disengage it, this one is not coming out. I don't know why. Now If I press, nothing is going on. Now I have thread cutting. Okay, now the thread is cutting, but if you notice, I have the thread dangling. Let me show you again. Wash. It's sewing, right? It's going to cut the thread. If I press the just wash. It cut the thread, but they're dangling. Why? This is not functioning, right? And that's the function of this button right here. If I press this one, it will pick up the thread. Wash. If I cut, just watch carefully. You see, pick the thread up. There's no dangling thread. So that's the function of this button. So you have this one, press a foot up or down. Okay, press it now. The needle is going to be always down. You see, the needle is always down. Even if you see, it's going to always be down, right? If you press it again to the other side, the needle is going to be down. Okay, it's just manual. All right, up. That's the presser foot function. All right. So another thing is this E. I want to know the function of the E. So I'm going to press the E. I have the E up now, and the number is 1. Let's see the function of the E. Nothing. The E is just almost the same like regular sewing. You see? It's just, let me change this. Is it lock? It's locked. You can't change it. You can sew all the way. Cut it. Just see the function of the E. So I have the end. Okay, now it's locked, so I can't change it. I can't change anything here. Let me see. All right, so you have this also. The B also is there. Those functions are working very well now, but you can disengage it on. I think the E wash when we don't have the E light up. If the E is not up, this is how it's going to sew normally, and it will cut normally. But if you have the E on, if I put it on, it's going to sew once and stop. I have to press the presser foot again to continue. Just wash. It stop. I have to release the presser foot and press again before we go on. Okay, that's the function. So you can take it off if you don't want it. So another function I want to show you is this button, this little button. You see, I don't have my leg on the presser foot. I mean on the footer. My leg is not here. I'm not pressing anything. Okay, just press this. Now I'm going to explain this to you very well. Okay, this button you see here, right, is working with this button. I don't know if you guys see the button. If you look at this button very well, this button with 3 arrows pointing down, the 3 arrows pointing down, it work with this button right here. Okay, it work with this button. You see, if I have it on, if you look at right here, it's on. Yeah, it's on here. Once I turn it off, it will go off. I turn it on to come on. That's the 3 button. It means if I press this button, it's going to be swing forward. The machine is going to be swing forward slowly, right? But if I disengage the machine, this button, if I disengage this button right here, I need to focus on it. If I disengage this button right here, you see the light is on and off. Just watch this. If I disengage and the light is off, this is going to be swinging backward. Watch. It's going to, you see, it's not working anymore. But if I'm sewing, regular sewing with my foot on the power going on, if I press this, it will go back. So it will serve as a reverse. So the amount of pressure I put on this will determine the speed of this if I'm sewing. But it's going to be going backward. Just watch. If I'm doing like this, it's going to be going backward. That's the function of that. It will serve as the reverse. Just like I'm doing now. It will serve as the reverse. Okay, that's what that does. But this can make it to be just forward. If you are going towards a corner or something sensitive that you want to do, if you just turn this one on, you can use this one to go through that place, you know, very slowly. That's the function. Okay, that's what that does. But once you are done, you just turn it off and the machine come back to a regular, you know, sewing. All right, so here you have it, brother. Industrial sewing machine. It's a double needle or twin needle, depending on how you want to call it. Like I said before, you can use this machine as a single needle. All you have to do is take one of the needle out. If you want to be using the left needle, then you take out the right needle. And if you want to be using the right needle, you take out the left needle. And you can use it like that as a single needle sewing machine with one thread. Okay, and it works fine. I've been using it as a single needle and it's working fine. It's really fast. This machine is fast. Okay, there's a reservoir. One thing I like about this machine is not going to mess anything. Once the oil, you use the oil, and you know, like it's not going to use the oil and dry it up. Once the oil go through where it's going to lubricate, it's going to use the oil and send the, you know, it's like an engine oil in your car. You know, once the car uses up the engine oil, it becomes dirty and you drain it out. Same thing with this machine. It uses this oil, and once they're dirty, it will flush the oil out into this reservoir down here, right there. This one, that's the reservoir. You see the oil in there is yellow. The oil I put inside is pure white. Once it uses the oil up and it's dirty, it flush it out to this reservoir. Once this one is full, I take it out, you pour it away, you know, you discard it. So that's one thing about this machine. It uses the oil once the oil is dirty, it send it out. Okay, so there you have it, brother. T84226-403 twin needle industrial sewing machine. This machine is so powerful. It's using servo motor. They don't make noise. The motor don't make noise. And apart from you doing the threading, this is fully automatic machine. It does everything for you. All you have to do is put your leg, press it down, and the machine keep going on. And they are workhorse. You know, they're built to work on a very large, you know, project. So if you want to use that home sewing machine, you can use that home sewing machine. Just take out one needle if you don't need the two needle. And if you are going to, you want to sew leather or anything, bags, things like that, you can use this machine. They are very powerful. All right, so that will be it for now. Until next time that you're going to be seeing me with another video, stay blessed.